Saw movie coming out. I'm so happy.
Yeah,
we can
I'm
tell.
actually
Wow.
interested.
Listen to that shared excitement, everybody.
Whoa,
I saw the first one in the theaters, and that was it. So this
Right.
new one actually has me interested because Chris Rock is producing as well.
I'm living in a post Sonic the Hedgehog world, so nothing is really exciting at the moment.
Whatever.
Okay. Okay.
I just like that Saw has now 2 reboots in about 3 to 4 years, and I'm wondering if the last one's even going to be recognized.
That's the world we live in. That's just
Saw
existence. Well, just in general, just media. Just that's the existence that we are forced
one
to.
of them barely counts, right?
Well, the new one or Jigsaw?
The new one.
We don't know that yet because, like, we
no, not. Sorry, I meant Jigsaw.
Jigsaw is very much included and it counts. It's again retconning the series and saying that Jigsaw had another secret apprentice.
I bet. Yeah,
before the fucking first movie started.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
And they show him building the bear trap. At this point, there's been so many retcons to the story. It's like just condense this all into a single movie of flashbacks.
Yeah. And then he turns a dude into a Silent Hill monster with lasers.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back in.
Yeah, the end of that movie has probably one of the best traps in the series. It's super
crazy.
simple. Someone just straps a collar to someone's head, and it has lasers that are going up that can fold inwards and outwards, and they fold inwards and turn this guy's head into a bloomin' onion.
Oh. Well,
it's pretty fucking metal.
It's uncharacteristically high tech for Saw.
Yeah,
usually everything is like rusty metals and pipes.
Where did you get those, like, the technology for that?
I mean, again, I go back to this, but like, where did John and Hoffman and Amanda get all the resources to essentially, like, section off a quarter of whatever hellscape city this takes place in, and just fill buildings with industrial traps?
Dude, I'm telling you, he has a black market dealer. It's probably like the Joker or something. Like he's buying syringes off that dude.
My favorite,
Leto.
My favorite is from Seven, where they just flashback. It's during the Jigsaw survivors meeting, and like some woman's like, "I can't believe what he did to me," and it cuts to her and her husband holding on to barbed wire ropes, dangling over a floor of lawnmower blades that are all spinning. I'm like, who built that?
Jesus.
What the fuck?
I'm like, how are you powering it? Like,
a lot of gasoline.
What building is this?
Yeah,
that's an environmental hazard.
How do you quality control that too? Like,
how do you make sure all the blades are going at once?
That's exactly what I mean. It's like, oh well, section 2A is down, Chuck. You got to get down there. Oh, fuck.
And like in the traps, I guess like the context you get from it is like they're both holding on, one has to drop. I'm like, that's not a game. It's just like you're just waiting for one person to die, and that's that person falls. What happens to the second one? You got to turn the blades off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they can
fall.
They can hope that the bone matter and flesh will clog up the blades enough that they can walk across them.
It's dead alive. There's just steam and fucking blood and guts everywhere.
Oh, I was thinking more dead alive beach volleyball than I was that. So.
Oh, that's dead or alive.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm excited. This looks really cool, and I'm hoping it's connected, but only in the sense that like, yeah, that happens somewhere else, and no one's heard a peep, out of that case since, and now all of a sudden this is happening.
No, I think that would be the smartest way for them to go with it.
Yeah. Be like, hey, what about that guy from 2 years ago? One of the new Jigsaw guy. And you're like, he's dead, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Even though he's ex-special forces and a medical examiner. I'm like, I think you're overqualified.
Now hold on to this barbed wire, please.
Mm-hmm.
I got like 10,000 lawnmowers. We're gonna do something.
That's Hunter. That's what you're talking about, where someone is injected with poison, and then in an effort to get the antidote, they're stabbed in the face by more syringes full of acid.
That is so funny to me.
That someone is stabbed with syringes full of acid, and it's great every time.
Like, where is he getting the?
And that's the thing we talked about. Like, yeah, he's an engineer and he's a book writer, but like, is he a multi-billionaire? Like, is he just like how much money does this dude have just lying around?
He's the Batman of the torture world.
I mean, from that scene
How much
you
prep
showed me in
Jigsaw have?
yeah, in the scene you showed me from Jigsaw, he's not far off from Batman.
Well, his parents were killed by an angry rust monster of some
Yeah.
sort that was made out of.
His parents were killed by like a leaf blower or something.
Yeah,
off
exactly.
His parents were killed by a mime who looks like his doll.
Yeah. It was the doll, actually, and took it into servitude.
It
He's
just
got-
stood up.
He's got pieces of the gun that killed his parents.
Arlo, it's like that. It's like that Christ statue from was it Beelzebub?
Oh shit! Yes.
Something that might have been funny if it didn't start talking. Yeah, there's a great horror movie that's it's Spanish, and it's kind of like like the savior is born, but now the devil wants to kill him. At some point, this other guy to a church, and like an old beat up like Jesus on the cross statue like animates and starts fucking with these guys.
It's great.
Yeah,
It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's like 7. Yeah, it's like 7 meets the Omen or something.
pretty
Yeah,
valid.
and funny
Yeah.
enough, Tobin Bell, Jigsaw, shows up in that movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's kind of badass. Yeah,
He is.
that's the movie that had the main detective. It was basically the Spanish version of Hooper from Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's...
Yeah, that
That's
checks
pretty
out. That
Wow.
checks out. Yeah. So we should probably introduce ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Connor McGraw, and I'm back after like a kind of a short absence of lots of stuff happening.
I'm Hunter Davenport, concert
I-
professional.
I am Tails miles per hour.
Oh no,
Fuck you.
I vehemently disapprove of this bit.
And could you actually get it right? It's miles per hour. It's not miles
Oh,
per hour.
well, it's
Go
miles tails per hour. First of all, I messed it up.
I hate Sonic so much.
I love Sonic.
You haven't introduced me in a while, Eric.
Oh my god.
What have you been doing? Why have
Oh.
I not been on the air? I've brought a friend with as well. I'd like
You
to
have a
know-
show about conspiracies and weird things I haven't seen.
I'd like you to stare into his beard and his silver rings.
I like to imagine Erik as like a Cerberus type monster. It's Jesse Ventura. In the middle is like Erik, and then the third one just hasn't been revealed to the world yet.
Well, my Quato head is Ellen. So
Oh my god! All right, let's keep going.
Don't ever work with DC again, Quaid.
mine the silver, Eric.
Superheroes are for children, Quaid. I am very hateful.
Why do you think I paralyzed Batgirl?
But speaking of DC, so Birds of Prey came out and fell on its fucking face.
Yeah, and apparently it's good.
Apparently it is good.
Well,
I mean, I
yeah.
read some spoilers and there's some things about it immediately that I just don't like. Mild spoilers, but the team up doesn't really happen until the end, and it serves more as a backdoor pilot for the Birds of Prey than anything else.
Yeah, that's just an overall problem with the film in general.
Yeah.
They should have just called it Harley Quinn.
They should.
Well,
Having seen the film, they should have just done that.
yeah, so Birds of Prey gets a title change after a dismal box office opening in a really lateral move in an effort to get people to go see it. I'm like, I don't think people are going to go. I don't think it matters what you call it.
I've talked about this in chat, but I think the marketing really fucked this movie.
Yeah, it did.
They shot
It 100% did.
You mean the marketing that only focused on a single character despite there being an ensemble?
Yeah, that and like making it similar to the another movie that came out that shall not be named on this podcast. Because if you look at that trailer, I get serious Suicide Squad vibes from that.
Oh, it's the exact same aesthetic.
Yeah,
I think that's
people
one of the biggest.
don't like that fucking movie for good reason.
Well,
I was watching the pretty much it like digested commentary for that movie, and as they're going to the beginning, the music choice I forgot were so offensive.
mhm.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's real bad. Yeah.
Like I forgot that Eminem. Like was it? There were what fucking song?
Mhm.
It's a song from like
any
2003.
Any song. You can say any song, and I'll be like, yep, sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Harley gets her
Makes
stuff out
sense.
and you're Venom.
Mhm. Right.
Is
But,
that a motorcycle in the background?
yeah. Yeah, Suicide Squad is a movie that hasn't aged well, and I think even people who liked it when it came out are sort of like, why did I like that?
I tried to
why
watch
did I
liked
enjoy
it for
that?
very specific things, and then later on I was like, I don't need anything else from this movie, and
Mhm.
I tried to watch it recently and did not happen.
Yeah.
I've never tried. I don't want to.
Man,
just go on YouTube and look up Deadshot's car scene, and that's the best scene in the
Yeah,
whole movie.
the scene where Batman arrests Deadshot is pretty fun.
That's great.
My favorite is when
Did
they
I
introduce
stutter,
Katana.
motherfuckers?
And they're like, this is Katana. Her sword can steal your soul. This
Yeah,
is the first time we're introducing her into the film.
Why did you say that out loud, Joel Kinnaman?
I was on the show Las Vegas.
Okay, I don't remember her being in the rest of the movie at all.
She's barely in the film.
She
Okay,
is at some
that's
point
why
she's
then.
crying and talking to her sword because that plot thread was also never introduced, and then there's a glimpse of it, and then it's never brought up again.
Great.
Yeah, it was so irritating because I'm kind of a Katana fan, partially because of Arrow, and I was actually very hyped for Katana to be in a movie, and yikes.
Turns out,
I just love how
Suicide
that
Squad.
movie is essentially a series of people getting on and off helicopters.
Mhm.
It also
Three
okay,
helicopters crash over the course of that film.
Yes.
I'm fairly sure.
I think
Three.
2 in 5 minutes because they shoot like, Joker's crashes and then Waller gets on hers and it immediately goes down.
Mhm.
okay. The
Yeah.
best joke in the movie though is Captain Boomerang coming back.
Who boomerangs? Yes,
Come
it's the
back.
best joke. And they,
Yeah.
they don't even address it. He just walks back into frame. I'm like, good job.
There are good moments and good jokes, but I'm convinced at this point none of it was planned. It was all improv. None of it was thought of beforehand. It was all just like stuff that they came up with as they were shooting, which is notoriously the best way to make a movie, right?
Oh, of
Just have
course.
all your best moments happen while you're on set. Because that's always a formula for success.
But
Yeah.
Harley
Well-
opened to I think 13 million on its opening day, which for a movie in this genre with this
Yeah.
character, like that's
sad.
that's embarrassing.
Well, so a few days ago, after the weekend was over, I feel like it was too early to say that it's failed. Now I think it's fair to say, it's not
failed.
doing well.
That movie's a failure.
It's failed, and Sonic is actually doing pretty well.
Sonic. Okay,
So yeah.
Connor, it's a good movie. You're gonna have to accept it. Anyway,
Regardless of that, it aids our conversation about Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is DOA unless it has very long legs. And I don't know. I don't know about that. So yeah.
Well, I mean, it's mind you, the dudes, some of the dudes I work with are less than enlightened, woke, whatever you're
Right.
Woke.
for it. Yeah,
Right.
like these are the same guys who when like they love all of the Marvel films with the exception of one. I'll give you one
I bet
guess
I know
which
what
one.
it is.
Oh,
Captain Marvel.
is it-
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say Iron Man, but
And,
Right, yeah. Yeah.
and these
I was gonna
these
say
are-
Black Panther, but for different,
No,
different
that's
reasons.
also possible.
no. Thankfully, it's not that bad. But these are the same guys who like they will go and see all the DC movies. Like the one dude like made a bet with somebody when Force Awakens and what was it, Batman vs Superman or JLA were out somewhat similar time frame. Like
yeah.
I can't. Oh, yeah, whichever one it
There
was.
was a Star Wars and Justice League that was at the same time. I just don't remember which one.
Yeah. One dude had made a bet like, oh no, like the DC movie is going to do better than Star Wars. Which what the fuck are you smoking? And
that dude's
Wait,
high as fuck.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Actually, that's
Hold on.
rewind.
I lost some audio there. What movie is he talking about?
He's talking about Justice League.
Yeah,
he said it was going to do better than the Star Wars. But okay,
Justice
if
League
you
was gonna do better than
rewind,
Star Wars.
if you rewind and you're not somebody who's maybe a little bit more knowledgeable, that's not actually that crazy if you know nothing about Joss Whedon
but
post
now,
Age of Ultron. Now
well,
it's
but
crazy.
now it's
Now
hilarious.
it's insane.
he was convinced it was gonna do gangbusters and beat out the first
Yeah.
original Star Wars film in however many years that wasn't directed by George Lucas. Get the fuck
Sure.
out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't disagree, but at the same time, we're talking about the only person at the time to have directed 2 movies that made it to $1 billion that in like within the last 5 years or so.
But that's the thing. I feel like the Joss Whedon thing, not a whole lot of people, unless you were really paying attention, knew about. Like everybody still was just like, oh, Zack Snyder is Justice League.
Did Joss Whedon make almost $1 billion, or did Marvel make $1 billion?
Yeah.
Sure,
There's
I'm
a
just saying
big
I can
difference
see somebody
there.
who's like half informed having that assumption. I'm not saying it's an accurate or a proper assumption, but I understand that assumption from somebody who's heard, like I said, like half the facts.
Yeah.
But back to the main thrust of the story I was telling was that all of these guys also have seen like the DC movies, and they're like, oh yeah, Aquaman was great and Shazam was great, and then they're like, oh yeah, the new Harley Quinn. So I think there's also a weird contingent of these kind of incel like motherfuckers who are going to see it because it's a female led film, and that's hurting it, unfortunately.
To be fair, the trailer doesn't, not that it should, it's not necessarily trying to entice them with the trailer that with the trailers I've seen. I don't know if ending your movie with, or your movie trailer with, "Get ready, ladies," is the kind of thing that's gonna
that may be part of the problem, actually.
Yes. Like it's almost cloying, it's almost trying too hard to get female viewers.
Which
Hollywood
is
Hollywood is bad at courting specific demographics when it's like politically advantageous that they do. Like
I want to be clear. I think that it's good that they're doing that because there's not a lot of movies like that for women. So like
also it's like they're tipping a scale that's like 80 years in one direction.
Yeah, it's like because you got Wonder Woman and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, so it's good that they do that, but it's not conducive to like make as much money as these movies are making, you know?
Also, I think this actually might be the result of like Warner Brothers and DC constantly burning people, and maybe everyone's like, no, fucking had enough of you. Like, go away for a while.
I would actually go even more specific. I think it's more that this movie reminded people of a previous era of DC. It reminded them so much of those earlier movies, and I think that Harley Quinn, as much as people like that character, she's just too much of she has too much of an albatross on her from those previous movies.
It's not enough to draw people in. Like it's not. She's great. Don't get me wrong. I love Margot Robbie. It's just I don't see how there was going to be a world where this didn't kind of fall on its face. Now that's out, at least.
If the earlier now proven false rumors about the plot of the film had been true, I think it would have been gangbusters.
I kind of wish it was.
Yeah,
I wish it was too. Now hearing the actual plot of the movie, which is just basically get the MacGuffin.
Yeah, that's the thing. The MacGuffin, and I'm going to reveal it because I don't care if people are disappointed by this. But originally, the MacGuffin was that the diamond had dick pics of Roman in it. Black Mask's dick pics were in the diamonds.
Here's the thing: you can kind of see where that might have been there, like even into the early production stage. And you can see the hints.
The rumor was that they decided to make a change last minute to something else. So from when I read the actual storyline, like on Wikipedia or whatever, like I'm like, oh, okay, I think they actually did make some drastic changes to this because DC wasn't quite ready to try to go that far.
No, it never happened. And
no, DC wasn't ready for Ewan McGregor, Dick.
Yeah, William Fichtner was never playing the Shredder.
Also, do you want the people who are going to claim that they're giant Roman Sionis fans, as if that exists? Do you want those people?
Okay, here's the thing:
making videos about how they turn this great character gay.
Black Mask.
It's like,
I like Black Mask, but I don't care if you change him.
Right.
Honestly,
Okay,
here's the thing: he's a mutable character to me. Like you can make him whatever you need him to be.
Yeah.
I didn't care that he was revealed to be the Joker in Arkham Origins because he means nothing to me. He means nothing to me as a character.
Almost the perfect character to do that with, too.
All right, having been a comic fan and reader probably as long as some of you guys have been alive, and kill me for having to say that out loud.
Yeah.
There have always been nerds like that who are never going to be happy regardless. Hell, they would even complain about shit like that when it happened in the comics. Like, I don't like the way this writer's handling this character. They have a much richer backstory. Blah, 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 Mom, where's my chocolate?
Right, and that always happens. You're correct.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm not with some of the characterizations I've heard about, and I heard like Huntress is barely in it, and because Cassandra Cain, what the fuck?
Okay, so Cassandra Cain is the one where I don't know, it works for the movie that they're telling. It works for the story that they're telling.
I feel like I
agree halfway with the whole "don't name her Cassandra Cain" thing. But I also think that character feels very personal to the director, and if the director wants to name her avatar character in the movie Cassandra Cain, I'm not against that.
But my counter argument to that is if the director or writer or whoever feel like they have a very personal connection with Cassandra Cain, then they fundamentally misunderstood what Cassandra Cain was in the comics, because Cassandra Cain does not have any of those characteristics in the comics at all.
But I don't know if starting from a comics accurate Cassandra Cain is the best idea either.
No, and I get that. That has also been my counter argument to people who are like, I can't believe they did this to Cassandra Cain.
Right, and it doesn't really matter so much now since it's so dead in the water. I get the feeling that there was meant to be a future arc down the line if this character was able to continue, that by the end of this character's story, she might have become something sort of in between this version, that there was going to be some sort of growth. That's the sense that I got from watching the film. But that's never going to happen, and this character will be retconned.
She's getting as soon as somebody's getting Rose T code.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel they could have chosen a million different characters from the Warner Brothers / DC lineup that are young.
That's
Asian
completely
women.
fair.
And that is my big thing. It's like, why not just choose somebody else? Like, why not just do that? Because Cassandra Cain, her character of Orphan or Batgirl, whatever the fuck they call her now, like, she could be really cool. It's just right now the optics aren't good on having a mute, amazing martial artist Asian woman like that. Just
And you could argue that they chose the wrong Batgirl too. They could have chosen what's her name? She's not Batgirl anymore.
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Yeah,
Stephanie
Brown,
and they could have made her Asian. I wouldn't have cared because we don't that many blonde women characters. There's so many of them in existence.
There you go. There you go.
Or even what's her name? Bluebird. I wouldn't have minded if she goes from that to the hacker character. That's completely like feasible to me. So anything.
So, that's my biggest thing. Is just like, why did they have to go with that character's name? Like they have a million different options. But if what you're saying is you could potentially see, I can understand why they would do that. It seems like from what I've seen in trailers, because I haven't seen the movie, it definitely seems like you really think you're going to be able to get to that place with that particular character the way you're portraying them now. Like, but whatever. You know.
No, they didn't do a good job. I'll say overall, from like a strategic point, from like a strategy point of view, and like selling the movie, I don't know if they really planned it out well. They made a good standalone movie, but they weren't really thinking ahead too much as they maybe should have.
Well, let's be honest, that's not really been Warner Brothers / DC's strong points.
No, it hasn't.
Good at that.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, is like the plan, like whatever plan there was, now there seems to be no plan, and all these movies just kind of exist in this like splinter universe. You don't want to have to address the Zack Snyder film.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say, this movie felt like it was a contractual obligation more than any other movie they've made. It felt like Margot had a deal in place where I get to make this film, or you don't get to have me as Harley anymore, or something to that effect. That's what it felt like to me.
Probably.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
I understand their choice to just go through and make the movie if that is the case, because even if this movie doesn't do well, her characterization of Harley, I can still see that being of benefit to them down the road, in many other films. So I understand keeping her around and not having her go to Sony and
And
adapting,
play
I don't know,
Black
a
Cat.
random or what's the Bloodshot universe. I can't remember
Oh,
the name
God,
of the
no.
books.
Oh, the
Valiant.
Valiant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like her just picking a random Valiant character and being like, I'll play that one.
Oh, God, no.
Which isn't
She plays
easily a thing
Angel.
that she could have done as a power move, and because it's her, she probably could have made it work the way that Ven might be making Bloodshot work. Might be.
I don't know. I think
Check
that's
back in with me on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks
No.
fun, but at the same time, I'm like,
not as fun. Deadpool.
If that's their way of launching a universe, I don't know.
I
That's what I'll
here's the
say.
thing: you can make a really cool Valiant universe, I think, but it just looks kind of boring.
Yeah. It looks like the epitome of like 90s action film to
Like
me.
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's boring Deadpool. That's all it is.
Yep.
But the fun thing about those 90s action movies, especially the really, really low budget ones, you can see you can see all the little things that are going wrong behind the scenes.
That's
and
a good point.
And it's kind of charming.
Yeah.
Whereas now movies are all like giant and CG, and it's like you can't even see the seams. There's nothing fun.
hey,
Well,
that's not true. In The Dark Knight Rises, you can watch a guy fall down after not getting punched.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that night,
Fantastic.
I do kind of want to see Guy Pearce try and act his heart out against Vin Diesel, who's just a slab of
That will
meat.
be
So
that will
yeah.
be fantastic.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Um,
true.
Okay. Anyways, we're way far afield. So yeah, this was supposed to be speed round. So I think that's how.
All right.
I honestly, it's such a big, like, it was a big deal. So we were definitely going to end up spending more time on it.
Mhm.
It's not like, I don't know, I can't think of a smaller movie to compare it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
by its nature, being connected to DC, it deserved a little bit more time. Yeah. So we
Sure.
want to move on to the next thing on.
Yeah, which is Masters of the Universe. This was going to be a main story, but the person
So-
who asked for it is not on, so
Yeah.
I demoted it.
Yeah.
Just a
Huh.
little bit.
Just based on the voice cast alone, I'll give it a chance.
I
Like,
I'll
like-
watch it. I'll watch any of these Netflix like Castlevania like movies, honestly, because like
yeah.
I'll give
I'm
the
so
pilot a
sold
shot.
on these things that I'll just watch them.
Well,
Yeah.
I care so little about He-Man that this has to be really good for me to even look
Yeah.
in this direction.
yeah,
I
I
just-
need to know. I need to know who the writer is before I'm going to even think
It's
about
Kevin Smith. Yeah.
it. Okay.
Well, and here's the thing. Well, so here's the thing. It's not just him. From everything that I've heard, it's my understanding is it's everybody who he's ever worked with in animation who
What?
impressed him or made an impression on him working on this show.
Okay, wait a
And-
minute. Wait a minute. Does that mean that there's Batman people working on this?
Most
I
likely.
believe so. So, because he has a large, I mean, he's an animation aficionado. I think that's why Hamill and how am I fucking
Conroy.
forgetting his name? Conroy.
Yeah.
That's why they're in it.
I don't know. There's something about these when Netflix is like, we're gonna make a Castlevania series, or we're gonna make
Mhm.
what's the other one? They're,
A live-action Last Airbender series.
Okay, I'll kill myself. That happens.
Wait,
Dude,
well, did you say you'll kill yourself? That happened? It is.
Yeah.
happening.
Well, Voltron, which I've seen and I actually really, really
Yeah,
love, except for the
Voltron.
last
Yeah.
season.
I really like when they do those things, and I kind of really want to see it.
Well, Castlevania, I think, is it. I don't want to say it's an anomaly, but like Warren Ellis has had a script for that for quite a while. Like,
yeah,
this is like going on like 8, if
Yeah.
not 10 years ago.
you know who else had a script for it that I just found out?
Oh,
Paul W.S. Anderson. So you know what?
Well-
I'm glad he beat him to it.
Well, Paul W.S. Anderson didn't have an animated series. That's the thing.
No,
Like Warren Ellis has always had like, no, this is supposed to be animated because he did there was like I think there were 15-minute episodes, a G.I. Joe cartoon that Warren Ellis wrote that was actually really good.
What? This
Yeah.
exists and I haven't seen it.
It's not
Yeah.
G.I. Joe Extreme, is it?
No. It didn't have that long a lifespan. You guys continue to talk, I'll find it.
I'm going to find this show.
Well, I just wanted to point out that the executive producers of this show are Adam Bonnet from The Descendants, which is a Disney show.
Yeah, I know that.
Which I haven't heard bad things about. I've just heard that it's not.
I've heard that people love that. Like,
yeah,
and I'm not
yeah.
not a big fan of Disney Channel, so
I'm not a fan of it either. But I understand that like it has respect. People respect Descendants, so that's not a bad sign. Christopher Keenan, who worked on Batman Beyond, that's a good sign.
Okay.
That's a good sign. Right. And then Rob David, who it seems like this is his first major thing that he put his name to. And then one of the producers, Susan Corbin from Voltron, is also working on this.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm curious. Like I said, I will give the pilot a shot because it's animation and that's 30 minutes of my life. I can afford to give that up. But if it's bad, I'm never coming back.
I was never planning on watching the Harley Quinn show because I was like, I don't think we need this. And then I saw clips on YouTube and I was like,
great.
I was like, oh, this is fucking really good.
Genuinely hilarious.
Yeah. And also, it's important to point out, I do not care for the original He-Man at all. It has no impact on me whatsoever. My He-Man is the 2000s He-Man, which is much darker.
That is way different.
It's a very different show. It's very serious. There is no tongue.
Almost too serious.
How do you?
Yeah, a little bit.
How do you turn He-Man seriously? Because like everything surrounding it, as far as like characters and premise, are just the dumbest things.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: they stripped it back.
That's how you do it.
Then they made it. Yeah, and they made it very sci-fi, like heavy sci-fi stuff, and it's sort of like Lord of the Rings crossed with Star Wars. That's the best way I can describe it. And they make Skeletor like scary.
Skeletor is the only part of He-Man I really like, honestly.
I'm not scary, I'm bad.
Yeah, they do a lot of cool stuff. I remember the show being good. I haven't really sat down and watched it since it aired. But also they tie in all kinds of stuff, like Skeletor is He-Man's uncle, which is and there's sort of a Scar thing going on.
I am your father's brother's sister's cousin's uncle's roommate, He-Man.
What does that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
Also,
my brother fucked your mom.
The 2000s He-Man toys are fucking amazing. The swords were bad, but otherwise they were pretty good.
Eric, this is just Castlevania.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. The video I posted, the cartoon with G.I. Joe Resolution, and I posted into the chat. It's a 10-minute video from YouTube, so when you get a chance, watch it. But it's a Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes.
I really want to watch this now. It's on Tubi. So
there you go. It had been on Netflix for a while, but then they dropped it. But anyways, He-Man also had a really weird resurgence. I want to say, God, was it late 90s, early 2000s? Where it was kind of like a futuristic He-Man, but the action figures I remember specifically were like 3.5-inch, like G.I. Joe size figures. So it was really odd. He-Man has an odd history because I think they've been chasing a ghost for a very long time because He-Man was always a toy company.
Yeah, I think He-Man and Thundercats would honestly fare a lot better if the cartoon didn't exist. Because the Thundercats toys are pretty cool. Like the action figures, like they're neat. But like when you watch the show, you're like, oh, this is stupid.
That's the other thing from that time period I just don't care about is Thundercats. And
Thundercats, is the coolest thing in concept, but once you see it in action, you're like, oh god.
My favorite thing about Thundercats was that blooper reel that surfaced on the internet.
Yes,
like,
no,
20
that's
years
the
ago.
funniest part.
Eric, what you
the
just
fuck
shared
is a
looks
stem
like
flange?
that looks like ass. That looks
Yeah,
like
dude.
What?
Yeah.
Oh
What
my
is-
god!
Is that the
That's
Buckaroo bonsai font? Those bastards.
It is. It's the exact
It's
same
Flash
font.
Gordon font.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
God
man.
damn.
Yeah, He-Man
God
has had
damn.
a has a rough time of things. Yeah.
He also just looks like a guy. Like he just looks like a dude without a shirt. Like he's not
Mhm.
special looking. He just like I have a strap.
He looks like he's got a keyblade.
That he
Oh
does.
my. Oh my.
Oh, I just
He-Man
found
is
the
here to
greatest
fight
picture of
the
the toy on
hard-
Earth.
Oh my god!
Fuck is
Arlen,
Murder
that has
it.
to be
he
the
looks like a
Burn
F-word.
it with
Megaplush
fire.
toy.
Arlen,
Dip it in
that's the
acid and then
F-word.
inject it into somebody who's trying to get a cure to venom.
He looks like a Down syndrome child who made armor out of cardboard.
It looks like he's wearing Minecraft armor.
Yeah.
Well, because he is.
Oh, yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He-Man.
We don't actually have to do the next story. I just put that on there to make myself
I don't
laugh.
even know what Bosch is, so
It's a British
do
show.
I.
It's not a British show. It's set in LA, Eric.
It's a British show.
It's a British,
I like this
it's a
bit,
British
though.
Los Angelian show.
No, it's a show starring Titus Welliver, and everybody should go watch it. That's really the only reason I put it on there. So yeah, we can talk about Disney next if we want to.
Okay, Disney came out and was like, we want to make more games like Spider-Man and Fallen Order.
And I
Which,
was like, do you now.
Make good games.
yeah, we want to make because okay, I think this is like a good thing, but I'm also really frustrated by this because they could have done this at any time.
MCU movies and there hasn't been a single like good game affiliated with any of it.
Yeah, like they could have done this at any time, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, they've had a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, so like I think they shelved a bunch of like game developers when they acquired LucasArts and subsequently Lucasfilm and LucasArts, and also like bought up a bunch of other smaller studios and didn't do any of them because like Disney's video game department is barren. There's nothing.
That was, if I remember correctly. Well, no, I'm thinking of just the Marvel stuff because for the longest time they didn't want to do anything related to that. They just wanted to let mobile developers do
That was
that.
because Bob Iger,
Yeah.
Yes.
the latest Disney CEO.
As if we've never talked about him on this show.
Who's that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, who?
Who is this Bob Iger?
Bob Iger. He thought video games were like for kids, and he was like, well, "I don't want to make this." And what like the thing about that is, Disney is a company.
You're the president of
so
Disney, you troglodyte. What are you talking?
So here's the thing. I don't the whole for kids thing. That might be it. The simpler answer is, video games cost money.
Yes.
And if they're not successful, they won't make any money.
Oh,
and
Disney
Bob
can't
Iger
afford to lose any money.
Yes, but remember, we're talking about Bob Iger, the man who wants to cement his name in history forever.
Yes.
Hence him buying everything.
Yes.
So I think what happened is he just now saw the opportunity to make video games that can help him continue to cement his legacy as the most successful Disney CEO ever. And he's jumping on that opportunity. I think that's what's happening.
They sold the Star Wars license to EA, which at the time was probably like a good business decision because EA hasn't always been EA it is right now.
They didn't sell the license. They gave them the rights to use the license. Like they leased it out to them or whatever.
They gave publishing rights for Star Wars games.
Yes.
So like it, which at the time I don't think when that deal was made was a bad deal, but it quickly turned into a bad deal.
Well,
Well, that's because EA did the
Even-
thing that EA does, which is just
Yeah.
like
Right.
sabotage
EA
the quality
did
of their
up.
games in favor of
essentially
trends.
cannibalize itself.
yeah, and in terms of like branding, it wasn't good.
No.
But just from like a clinical money point of view, it did what Bob probably meant for it to do. Again, in the short term, before
Yeah.
he could figure out a way to do something that was both really good for the brand and that would make money.
And if you look at like Disney Infinity, like that sold fairly well. Like it wasn't a
Yeah.
disaster. Like it wasn't.
No, it was selling like gangbusters. It was
Yeah.
like it was
Yeah.
actually keeping pace with Nintendo Mii's.
With Amiibos,
Well,
yeah.
Amiibos, that's it. Yeah.
Mhm.
And Amiibos don't even have a game associated to them. So it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
they did that with software and hardware. So it's crazy that Bob Iger didn't look at that and be like, well, we need to make more of these.
Well, that was also during that weird boom where everybody had like
Yeah, where
figures and
Toys to
rabbits.
Life was the
Yes.
huge,
Yeah.
huge thing.
Yeah.
And then companies started to realize they didn't want to go out like THQ did. So
Yeah.
they dropped that shit real
Or
quick.
they could just not pay taxes like Activision does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is shocking that for as long as Disney has been dabbling their toes into video games, they've never actually really done anything super successful with their own IP.
Yeah, like
And Star Wars. I like Mickey fucking Mouse.
well,
Mhm.
I was talking about this earlier. Like Mickey Mouse should have a successful game by now. Like,
I mean,
and
he
he
did
kind
on
of
Super Nintendo.
Well, I mean, Epic Mickey kind of counts.
it did happen, but
It
the
wasn't
thing about
successful.
it sucks. So
Yeah. It came out on Wii exclusively. Like the first one did initially, and that it was too late. Like the Wii party was kind of starting to die down at that point.
yeah,
So,
it was
Mhm.
that was a late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, fuck. Who did they sell back to CBS to get the rights to Oswald the Rabbit?
Oh, what is his name?
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was some weird, like, obscure thing, wasn't it?
No, I think it was like someone who was a sportscaster or something like that. Like
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, they let him go back to CBS to get the rights to
Can't remember his name.
Oswald the Rabbit back. It's something like that. But
That means whoever was holding on to Oswald that time was like, I mean, why do you want this thing? Sure, have it.
yeah,
We want that guy though.
Who the fuck is an
Yeah.
Oswald?
yeah, I
Al
don't know.
Michael.
Yes, that's it.
I don't know. I think it's the perfect time now.
Mhm.
But it should have happened way sooner.
It should have. Yes. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but if Bob Iger has proven anything, it's that things that should have happened or that he can get moving quickly generally turn out pretty well with a few stumbles. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if after we see how the Avengers game does, we start seeing
Right.
a sudden deluge of Marvel game.
Whew, that game has nervous.
Yeah. And then Bob Iger builds
I'm
a
not
spaceship
nervous.
and goes to the moon. And
I'm really not nervous because of the live game, but like, man, that it's probably gonna do pretty well.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
man, I need more Marvel games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope they tease a Moon Knight game and it never comes out.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, the fact that they're putting Kamala Khan in the trailer
Yes.
is a
And
lot.
well, yeah, she's looking like a main character too. So
Yeah.
Also, as much as people dunk on that whole marketing thing where they were just parading down the voice actors, it is nice that they got the recognition they got. Because that Thor guy has been doing Thor for like years now, and no one knew that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so good on him for getting out there.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we want to talk about with Disney game subsidiary or related?
I'm eagerly awaiting the what's that Song of the South game?
Make a strong game.
No. never.
Make a
Never. They
new
don't.
Tron game.
They don't care about Tron anymore.
They
That
don't.
was-
They don't give
they
a
really
shit about
don't.
Tron.
No,
they
nope.
really do not care about
like
Tron.
like
No.
Chris Antista pointed out, that was their last attempt at getting boys into their stuff, and then they got Marvel and Star Wars. So fuck all that noise.
They're like, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Garrett Hedlund, we're not going to use you.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
one last thing real quick, why couldn't they make a competent Incredibles game? They had the framework to do an amazing superhero game. Anyways, let's talk about another superhero.
That would require effort.
Yeah.
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 What's everybody
Yeah.
think about this
So,
little Daredevil reveal?
I already said in the chat, but like, did you have to bathe the suit in nothing but red lights and then not really
Yes.
show us the
I don't know.
cowl?
Yep.
I mean, it's a lighting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
probably.
that's
It's a lighting
just-
test.
I think
Yeah.
that's just dressing to like see what it looked like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
This is the one.
I get the feeling that this was haphazardly thrown together at the last minute. That he was like, "I'm going to show him the suit,"
Yeah.
like-
I don't know.
because that Joker one was pretty elaborate. Like it wasn't like
Mhm.
there. He laughed and like there was like music, like clearly. I don't know.
Right.
But I think that was when DC was a little bit more confident about the movies that were coming out.
Yeah,
I mean, with the Joker one, they were going to shoot like the next day, and I think they just didn't want the first thing people saw to be from leaks.
Mhm.
And I think that's the idea here. I didn't know that this was an official release when I first saw it. I thought it was a leaked photo or a camera test.
yeah.
So my
Yeah.
opinion
It's on
has
Vimeo.
changed somewhat. Well, I assumed it was Vimeo because Vimeo's harder with content strike stuff. I think
As
so.
as in they don't care.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
As in they
as in-
don't bother.
as in they do
Exactly.
not give a shit.
Yeah.
So when I thought this was a leak, I was like, okay, well, this is concept suit. This might not be the actual suit. Learning that it's official, I'm like, okay, there's not going to be very many changes from here on
No.
out. They might slim things down.
They
This
might
might be
change
just-
that symbol, the bat symbol.
He might have multiple suits in the movie. Also, that's a possibility.
I think I will say he looks pretty good in the mask.
He does look good. I think his
He
face
does.
looks very fits it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's because his jaw was designed to wear a
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
This is just my personal opinion on the idea of multiple suits. That would be a tremendously bad misstep. Like, they need to not Christopher Nolan levels of like bare bones Batman.
I think if they
I
made
don't
more-
really mean like a full redesigned suit. I mean like
Going through the different
arms fell off.
permutations of
Right.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
as he like perfects it.
Right.
Yeah, I
Like
could see
he gets
that.
shot by somebody and he's like, I need new pad here or something. Like
Mhm.
a small upgrade, not like a full suit.
yeah,
Okay.
Did you get
Yeah.
mauled by a tiger?
Like I mean, not to
Protect you against
continue
cats.
referencing Daredevil, but like Matt's suit changes throughout season 2 of Daredevil. Or because Marvin keeps giving him upgrades.
Yeah.
So yeah, something to that effect is more
Okay.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I
yeah.
could see
Did they
that.
ever confirm if the bat symbol on his chest is actually made from the gun that killed his parents?
that I love that so much. If it is,
Yeah. I
Well,
think
I
that's
mean,
a
that
rumor.
that was something that happened in like, what was it, Batman issue like 1000 or something, that big anniversary issue. Kevin Smith did a short in it that Jim Lee did the art for, and it's just like a single page, like I forget how many panels, but regardless, it's telling how Bruce Wayne / Batman like went through black markets and hunting these people down to find the exact gun that killed his parents, and he melted it down and turned it into the armor that he puts right underneath his bat
That's fucking
symbol.
ridiculous.
I mean,
It
that's
is.
a very Bruce Wayne
is, but
choice.
It's I think the final line of the story was something like, so I took the gun that broke my heart and turned it into something that will protect mine for as long as I can.
Right.
I kind of believe Batman would do that though.
Yeah, he
Right,
would.
like,
He's-
it's
because
not
he's
that-
psychotic.
He's
Yeah.
fucking
Well,
crazy.
like also,
Yeah.
and I might be misremembering it, but in the storyline Black Mirror, I think Bruce leads Dick to finding the crowbar that killed Jason.
Jason?
That's pretty
Maybe.
good.
He
Yeah.
like sets
Is
it
it
up in like
anthropomorphic?
or no, it's being sold. For those who haven't read Black Mirror,
Yeah.
there's like this group of people that sell items that have been used to like hurt superheroes. So one of the things that they sell is the crowbar that killed Jason.
Sleepy time
and-
crowbar.
Yeah. My memory is that Bruce like left a message there for Dick so that he could find it and retrieve it. Because this is post Infinite
pretty silly.
Final Crisis.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah,
But it's a
is.
very Bruce thing to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, personally, I like everything that I've seen with the suit. Like,
Yeah.
there's the little bit of like what looks like not a neckline, but just like the rise around the neck. So
Yeah.
it kind of looks like a fuck. What is it?
It's more
Gotham
Slack
by Death.
collar, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
really?
Oh.
Really, dog? Oh, who wants to be on? Oh, really? That's a crazy statement to make about the Batman suit. I'm sorry.
He looks full hot takes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. Anybody else? Anybody?
Well, on the whole, are those guns in the chest thing? I'm not sure. I said in one of the various chats that it reminds me of the shooting, whatever those are, on Batman's arm from The Dark Knight, where I feel like there's some sort of purpose, some sort of function to that, just based off of how it looks.
I'd seen somewhere, maybe it was Reddit or somebody had pointed out that like, well, it looks like it could be just batarangs folded in half.
Sure.
And just having
Yeah.
another place that he stores them, which, that would be thematically accurate that he pulls them off of his chest to throw them at people. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I do, honestly, I kind of love the idea that it would be made out of the gun that killed his parents. Personally, but that's just me.
It could also be that it is the guns, but they've been made into knives.
That's true.
Which is hilarious.
You've got to play gunny knifey.
He's like, I don't kill people. He stabs a dude with a knife.
What my idea was that it was box cutters.
No, even better. He's like,
You got a packaging
you'll
open?
bleed very slowly, but you won't die if you get to a hospital in the next 2 hours.
Ugh.
I don't know. I need to see the whole suit, kind of just as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you couldn't get an idea of even color scheme for it if it's just straight up black, if there's shades of gray mixed in, because one of the things I had seen that was like a leaked set photo is it was Pattinson not in the suit, obviously, but he was on a motorcycle, and that made me think about a certain part of the Scott Snyder run of Batman where he's on a motorcycle. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm wondering if they're going to be taking elements from that, possibly.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That would be they're not doing the Red Hood gang. At least I don't think they are.
Oh,
but,
God, no. No, don't
that
do
would
that.
be, hey, you shut your mouth.
No, I love the Scott Snyder run, but just don't do that. That's too much. Like,
it is too much. It's too much to fit in.
Yeah.
Also, this is supposed to be, I can't remember where I saw this. It's supposed to be year 2, which is what I think a lot of us have been saying, that it's year 2-ish or year 2 adjacent, which fits with the whole long Halloween thing that they're doing. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's Batman, so I'll give it a try. Like, I've said that about every Batman movie, so we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Warner Bros. Can make good Batman movies, but I also know now that they have the potential to fuck it up royally.
I mean,
sure.
It's Robert Pattinson, so it's got that going for it.
I'm gonna watch this movie. Like I have to at this point. Like,
we're all
the drama, all the behind the scenes stuff of Matt Reeves getting into a fight with the executives and then coming back.
What?
Like a fist fight?
We've talked about this.
I don't remember it.
When you got into a shouting match with the executives, he walked out of the room, and the story was that he will not be directing Batman. Talks have broken down.
I knew
Yeah.
about the talks breaking down, but I didn't know there was a shoving. That's rad.
Yeah. No, it was like they are never working this out. They are never working together again. At the end of the week, Matt Reeves is signed on to do Batman. We talked about this in depth on the show. 100%.
I know we
Probably.
talked about
Harlan,
we
we
talked
do
about
so
things
many of
breaking
these.
down.
We do so many of
Exactly.
these. I don't know what I've said.
That's fair.
Besides the
I've
horrible
forgotten
thing.
most of them, but I don't know. This story for some reason just stuck with me. Probably because of the Matt Reeves of it all. He's one of my favorite directors working right now. So I just remember these little tidbits about him.
Yeah,
particular.
I don't remember the shoving part. I do remember talking about like Matt Reeves, like never gonna work with him again. Oh hey, signed on to do Batman. And Hunter, on your earlier comment, things you don't remember, you said Schindler's List 2,
No, I remember the horrible stuff. I remember
AIDS
the horrible
Ghost.
stuff.
Let me think. Those are the two that come to mind the most.
I remember the terrible things I've said.
Who can forget?
Yeah.
yeah.
Who could forget AIDS Ghost
Yeah,
twice?
who can
Yeah, I wonder
forget?
who could possibly have an emotional investment in that.
Yeah, I
Most-
wonder.
Most of the
Wonder
other things
who
are
would
just
be most upset by that.
I wonder if Connor could tell the story about his uncle and then a year later have you make the exact same joke about it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we're good like that. And most of the other things you say, Hunter, are just you sounding like you're having a stroke because the blood supply to your second brain is dying out. So
Yeah.
Right. And he's going thermonuclear and he's going to fight
Yeah,
Destroya.
exactly.
And then my son will take over.
Exactly.
Hunter
Yeah.
Zuki.
Yes. All right, let's get to trailers.
Hunter Davenzuki.
Yeah. Davenzuki. Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn.
So Stranger Things kind of I don't know. It's that thing that you'd posted from Screen Rant. I don't necessarily disagree with it. The thing you posted,
but
Connor.
My whole thing
Yeah,
is,
but if the angle of the season is like we're going to be spending a lot of time with Hopper, then that's the only reveal for that trailer that you should have used.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, how old is season 3? Like, is it even a year at this point?
No, it's
Year
not
or
even
two?
a year.
It's
Season
not
3, it's like 6 months old at this point, or something like that. It's like,
yeah, because
it was a year.
It came out over the summer, I thought.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so it's like maybe 8 months old at this point. Not even a year by now.
Yeah, it seems a little premature. Like, I don't know, maybe it in my mind that I just made up. Like, have it cut right as he's turning, so you get the idea that it might be him, but not 100%. Or just have the American and have like him start to turn, like do that.
Right.
So it's still tantalizing, but you're not 100%. Or just have a big flock of white hair show up, and it's actually Matthew Modine who survived.
Or
right,
it's him, but he's in full Hellboy makeup.
Oh god damn
And
it! Oh god damn it!
actually starts
No,
to
thank
draw.
you.
Arlen's gonna go into a fugue state.
I will literally lose my mind. Yeah. So here's what this makes me, and I might be completely wrong here. This trailer makes me think that they have so many other reveals that they think are so much bigger than this, that they were willing to put this in here. Maybe that's not the case at all.
Oh man, what if they don't?
Oh man, what you're saying?
Wouldn't put it past them.
Arlen is confirming that the Scooby Gang from second season is coming back.
Oh, actually, you know what?
Scooby Punks.
No.
Scooby Punks. They're coming back.
The Goth X-Men.
Yep.
No, here's the thing. What I'm most worried about is this: they rushed season 2, and season 2 was bad. They didn't rush season 3, and season 3 was good. It was good. It was.
I thought season 3 was great.
I thought season 3 was also great.
I don't know. I'm not a big Stranger Things fan, if I'm being honest.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's not.
You're a zygote, so you don't understand any
I'm
of the
not
references.
old enough. I don't think I'm old enough to appreciate it, honestly.
Okay then. Okay then.
You're twitching on a satin pillow that your mother made for you. Just
it's pretty cool they got the Red Ranger in it, though. That's pretty awesome.
and he's an asshole.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
He's also the best character in the show.
he is.
But anyway, season 4 is coming out very shortly after season 3, and that makes me worried because they rushed season 2, and as I said, it was bad.
Well,
It
maybe they
was
filmed them
real-
back. I mean,
real
we've never
bad.
heard about this, but maybe they filmed them back to back.
or at least relatively close
Sure.
time. Yeah,
Sure.
I could.
And that's yeah.
I could actually. That would actually make a lot of sense, Connor,
Mhm.
because with the way they ended season 3, I could see them being like, "Well, we don't want to make people wait too long for a big
Mhm.
reveal like this." Because season 1 ended on a note that it was kind of like, well, wait, was it season 1 that ended like that? Where at the end of it, they're at the dance, see the big flash of lightning. It's
That's season 1, yes.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
season 1.
Yeah, so season 2 didn't really feel like it paid off on that well, other than Will sucking that thing up into his body and all that whatnot. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
Zygo.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
And that makes sense. Since these kids are not getting younger, obviously.
That too.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's before Millie Bobby Brown can end up dating Drake. So she
Right.
needs
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
she needs to
Mhm.
Drake's
get that
dating
filming
number
done.
11.
I just like how those kids keep getting longer and longer because of puberty, and they keep putting them in like the same size clothing. So it's just like season 3 was like, look at all those fucking tiny chicken legs sticking out of those kids.
I love how the longer time goes on, Finn Wolfhard looks like he was in a Willy Wonka-esque accident that stretches limbs.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my.
yeah, that's Stranger Things. I guess we're tepidly excited about it.
I mean, I am,
Yeah.
but like, there's so little to go off of now. It's just like,
Yeah. Well, it's that thing I posted in the chat where they said they want to split it between the story of what's going on in Russia and whatever's going
Yeah.
on in whatever area everybody's
I
going
like
to
that idea.
regroup. Yeah, I think that's a better way to do it too, and then you can have
Mhm.
everything dovetail at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
just don't kill
it's
Hopper
interesting.
again. Don't try it again.
Right.
No.
Don't do
No.
that. Don't
Well,
do that.
I think Hopper coming back has a lot to do with how bad.
You cut out there.
Oh,
Yep.
I think Hopper coming back has a lot to do with how badly Hellboy did.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Well, a lot had to do with Hellboy being bad, but that's another conversation that I'm pretty sure we've already had.
Well, we did, but it ended up getting lost. So.
Well, no, because we did another episode where I explained some of the behind the scenes, and it's a twisty story.
It is. It
It's
is.
a
It is.
smooth
It is.
story.
All right. What was the next one? Green Knight. Or was
Yeah,
it?
Green Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch this trailer yet. I know it's.
I haven't either.
I don't mind if you watch it right now, actually.
Yeah. It looks
It's-
really
It's like
interesting.
the Iron Mask trailer that came out of nowhere.
No.
I haven't actually seen it. I've just heard people describe it, and
It looks pretty sick.
yeah. So apparently, it's a sequel to a Russian movie. The Iron Mask is,
What?
and yeah, it's a sequel to a Russian movie starring some dude. I can't remember. Tywin Lannister is in it, also. I guess.
Holy
like,
shit. Speaking
Jackie
of
Chan
Willy
and
Wonka,
Arnold are just in one scene. Apparently. So
is this just a Willy Wonka sequel?
no. Are you talking about the Green Knight?
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arlen, who's the director of this again? Like.
I don't actually know. David Lowery.
Okay.
He's an interesting fellow who
I'm gonna mute this real fast
continued
right
to
now.
work with Casey Affleck long past when anybody should be working with Casey Affleck. But hey,
Yeah.
that happened. It happens to the best of us. Every movie of his that I've seen, though, I really enjoyed.
What has he directed?
So he directed The Old Man and the Gun, which is...
Okay, I haven't seen that. Robert Redford.
Yeah. It's a great film to watch with your dad and have a real good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one's good. He directed the Pete's Dragon remake, which is very good, all things considered.
What a great modifier to put on the end of that.
Well, For a movie with the title Pete's Dragon, it's better than it deserves to be, I would argue.
Okay. There was
Hey,
there was. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then he also directed the movie Ghost Story and Them Body Saints, which are two that I haven't seen.
Oh,
But,
Ghost Story. Okay.
Why does Ghost Story sound familiar?
It's
like
it's the one where it's Casey Affleck walking around with a bed sheet on him.
Okay. I didn't see it, but yeah, I know.
Yeah, and he's a ghost because bed
Yeah.
sheets.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I don't. This trailer looks good.
Yeah.
But I could easily see them having edited around some things to make it look like a big epic fantasy movie.
And it's an art film, which that was the thing. Like when I first started watching the trailer, the scene of, I guess that's Gawain in the throne as it slowly comes towards the camera, and then he's on fire and he has a crown of light around his head. And all. Okay, it looks like this is going to be a little see than I expected, and then it starts going into all these scenes that are definitely not much of entire scenes that I'm kind of like, huh. They definitely seem to be pasting things together here.
I'm gonna try to
sell
watch
us
it after the
something.
show. It's Discord is like murdering my internet connection right now.
Okay. Yeah. I 100% agree with you, Arlen. I definitely think this is going to be a different movie than what they're trying to sell us.
Right. And if A24 hadn't done this to me many times before, I wouldn't be saying this, but they have. I'm sure I talked about it on the show, but It Only Comes at Night was a case of this where the film that you actually end up seeing is very different from the movie that they sold.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the biggest fan of that film for a number of reasons. So I respect A24, so I'll probably see this. But
yeah, I'll give anything that they put out a chance.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to love it, but yeah. But I 100%, like I said, agree with you. I think this is going to be a much different fare than what they're trying to show you in this trailer.
Yeah, that's it. It all looks pretty. It all looks very pretty, and all the fantasy stuff looks interesting. It is hitting a lot of the stuff that I particularly am a slut for. So I almost feel attacked by this trailer.
How dare you?
How?
But yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with it. Yeah.
I also haven't seen the trailer for Altered Carbon Season 2.
Yes.
With Falcon.
Yes.
All you need to know is that just based off the trailer, it looks like the main character from the first season is going to fight a clone of himself.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Who is his original body. For those that don't know the concept of Altered Carbon, basically people can have as many bodies as they want. Their brains can be put into new skins, as they call them, or skin jobs or something like that. I can't remember the actual full words that they use. But yeah, it looks like he's gonna fight a previous version of himself, and that got me very excited. Because and the show overall it wasn't a fantastic first season, but it was good enough for me to be like, okay, I'll check out next season, see if it's better.
I'm surprised Netflix let it live long enough.
Yeah. I think they just okay then. Wow.
Well, the Craig just left. All right.
Other Craigs did that to me the last time I recorded as well, so that might just be a problem with him.
Are we still recording?
Yes.
Yes, Craig is recording, but that was G-Arc, reverse Craig.
The reverse.
I'm tired of you guys not paying attention to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for Altered Carbon, but I don't expect everybody to have an opinion on it.
Go ahead, Hunter.
Yeah.
I've never seen the show, so
my wife and I started watching it, and we're like, "Oh, this seems interesting." And then something else came out, and it was during that time period that like it had been out for a little bit, but there was like maybe a 2-week lull between things coming out. So we watched an episode or two of it, and then millions of things dropped at once, and we just completely lost track of it.
Yeah.
Like it's so I want to go back to it because I'd like to give it a try because I'm a fan of sci-fi, and I'm definitely a fan of Thomas Jane, and he's in it. So yeah, I'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
Isn't he in it, or is it somebody
I
else?
think you're thinking of The Expanse.
Okay,
but-
no, I've never seen The Expanse. No, with the rich man that wanted him to hunt down whoever killed his original.
No, that's James Purefoy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Thomas Jane when I saw it in the trailer. So my bad.
No,
Then I
maybe,
don't care about this show. Then.
maybe I completely forgot Thomas Jane showing up, and if I did, Thomas, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
He's
My
gonna come
bad.
to your house.
I think he's digging around in my recycling. So I'll go
Yeah.
let him know.
He's busy
Yeah.
being the vegan police in Scott
I haven't
Pilgrim.
had much more than tongue ended.
Milk and eggs,
Oh,
bitch.
poor guy. I love Thomas Jane.
He's great. Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
And I'm never
Yeah.
going to watch The Expanse. So, anyways.
You should watch The Expanse. Here's the thing. You
Oh,
said
no.
something about it, so
I've
I'm never
activated
going
him.
to let it go. I'm never going to let it go now.
It's
I'm
been
going
activated.
to remind you of it forever now because you said something.
Or
You're gonna,
also,
you're gonna do to him what we do to Hunter.
or
Exactly.
ultimately, in 2 weeks, you're going to forget about it. Anyways, so Dark Army is in our extras.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so they're still trying that, huh?
Yeah. This was your story that you put in. I haven't looked
Why?
since you. So yeah.
Yeah, I
Why
meant to
do we
read
need
it,
this?
but it's because they're idiots, and they.
I'm not even sure I know what this is.
It's
Yeah.
the Warner Brothers monster TV.
Yeah, so Call of Duty is making
Yeah.
a monster movie
Yeah.
in the dark universe, apparently.
This is the most failed universe in the history of cinema
It makes
already.
me so sad on the inside.
Well, and
It's really weird because it's like going off in a million different directions,
Mhm.
and some of them are not bad, and some of them are like, obviously you shouldn't do that, but you are, and I don't know why. Why are you
Invisible
doing
Man
that?
trailer that came out recently? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. The Invisible Man I'm actually really interested in.
I'm really into the Invisible Man right now. It looks terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks
God.
fantastic.
and then
But
they have this
everything else
happening.
is like, why are you doing that? Why are you giving Elizabeth Banks these characters? Elizabeth Banks, famous horror icon, Elizabeth Banks.
I love Elizabeth Banks. I think she's a great actress. But
with some terrible
she-
opinions.
But she's a Scientologist.
yeah, she's a Scientologist, and
yeah.
she made a bad movie.
Here's the thing: she
It
didn't
wasn't
even
her
make
fault,
a
though.
bad movie. She decided to put her tongue out in her mouth, or
Yes,
however that was,
her
and
foot
she
inserted into her mouth.
her foot into her mouth, and she said some of the dumbest things I've ever heard about Marvel movies ever. Like, she made Martin Scorsese seem smart.
Wait, what? What did she say? I didn't hear anything.
It was
about this.
after what fucking movie was that? It was the Charlie's Angels remake.
It was after the Charlie's Angels movies, and it was
no.
essentially, why do guys get so many movies about people saving the world, but girls don't get any? And I wanted to strangle her.
And she was
Because
like,
do
"You
you-
guys have had like 30 Spider-Man movies. It's hairs."
Right.
Wait, no, you guys are, I think, confusing. We're talking about the woman who's in, and the goddamn it, the show on Hulu, Totalitarian
Scrubs?
Future. No,
She was in
that's-
Scrubs. She's great in Scrubs.
Okay. Anyways, A Handmaid's Tale.
No,
I thought
Elizabeth Banks. That's what we're talking about, not Elizabeth Moss.
Okay. Okay. Never
Elizabeth
mind.
Banks is doing she's doing a Universal monster movie.
She's in the she's in the Invisible Man, but I thought it was the director
No.
of the new
No,
Charlie's
she's
No,
doing-
that's
Angels who
Elizabeth
said-
Moss. You're
She's-
thinking of
okay.
Elizabeth Moss. No, I'm
Okay.
talking about Elizabeth Banks, the person who directed that Charlie's Angels movie.
Elizabeth
Okay.
Banks
Okay.
is
Sorry.
making- Is making a movie called The Invisible Woman.
Yes.
That's not a joke. That's actually
No,
happening.
I see, but we were just talking about the Invisible Man. Elizabeth Moss
Yeah.
is
No,
in the
I
Invisible
understand the
Man.
confusion.
Yeah, that's
yes.
all right. Yeah, I'm old. Give me a break. I didn't take my
No,
jokes.
yeah,
I'm
you're
Yeah.
completely fair. But
Yeah.
she said the Marvel movies, and
Yeah,
I wanted to strangle her because the Marvel movies are successful because of how many women go to those movies compared
she
to
said it as
previous
if
superhero
girls don't like
movies.
Spider-Man.
Right. It's so dumb.
I know
So-
plenty of girls who love Tom Holland.
Well, and she says that like she didn't work with James Gunn on Slither, and she arguably did a great job.
Like, you could argue Ike Perlmutter got fired because he was wrong about women. Because all the stats told Marvel that women really liked Marvel movies, and they would like a Marvel movie starring a woman.
Yeah.
And Ike
Guess
wouldn't
what?
back down on that.
Yeah.
One's happening.
I like the idea of Ike being like, that doesn't exist. La 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 la.
Well, women don't exist to him. That's the
Right.
only thing that exists to him. Oh.
Yeah, they're nothing but
somewhere.
chattel to him.
Yeah, exactly.
that
It's him and
somewhere.
Frank Miller. Frank Miller just getting all those whores.
No, Frank Miller is just hallucinating in a corner somewhere.
He's
Anyways.
dying slowly of cancer.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's doing a Dark Army movie, which is supposed to be satirical, and it's going to feature the Universal monsters and
of course it
and
is.
new characters too.
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I
What?
don't.
Okay, here's what bothers me about that. What can they possibly make that'll be new? That'll be like better than Frankenstein or like any of those.
Exactly.
Like,
Or
there's
even the
nothing
Abbott and Costello movies. Some of those movies really, considering when they were made and the era in which they were made. Yeah.
Abbott and
Yikes.
Costello meets the Mummy. I think that's the one.
Mhm.
My
The one
Or
grandmother,
the Wolfman, one or the other.
my grandmother was a huge Abbott and Costello fan, and like I've seen those movies several times. They're good movies. Like,
Tell your grandmother what's up. It was nice seeing
No.
her back in 1982.
Oh, I remember her.
I don't know.
She was a little girl when I. Anyways,
But yeah, those are good movies. I don't see a world where Paul Feig can make something on par with those. Because like that I don't want to say he's bad because he's not. He's not bad. He's just not. I don't think he has what it takes. Honestly.
Yeah.
Well,
And I like his movies. But
this whole idea, I mean, we have such great ideas as much demanded by the audience. Dracula spin-off Renfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Give me a
that's-
Renfield movie action now that we're talking about it.
No,
Here's the
they're
thing.
doing it. They're doing
What?
it. They're planning
you-
a Dracula spin-off Renfield.
Oh my fucking... I wasn't being serious, universe.
It's too
Okay,
bad.
here's the thing. If they did a movie where you're just following Renfield and you don't know he's Renfield, and then at the end you reveal that he's Renfield, I could see that working.
That's pretty cool.
Maybe.
Yes.
That could be a thing that could happen, and if the right director were signed on, I could see it being not bad. But I that's such a dumb
I
idea.
got bad news. They're gonna find the wrong director.
That's on the scale of Aunt May as a secret agent.
I was
That's
gonna
on
say
the
it is
same
very
level.
evocative of some potentially bad Sony decisions.
The only way the Renfield movie would be good is if they got Tom Waits as Renfield from Francis Ford Coppola's
Yes.
Dracula and just let him go for 2 hours.
It's just his movie.
Okay.
You're
so
you're
here's the thing.
Renfield.
No,
I'm
here's the thing.
listening.
I say all that, but Hunter, are you the only one of us who's seen the Moffat Dracula series, or Eric and Connor? Did you?
I
get a
haven't
chance to
gotten a
watch it?
chance to. No.
I haven't finished it yet. I'm halfway through it. Well, like,
But so you've seen episode 2.
yes.
So episode 2 and the whole series in general, the thing that makes their Dracula stand out is he's more seductive than any previous Dracula.
Dracula that fucks.
He's
not
got
just
a
that,
big
like
undead heart.
like the scariest thing that he does in the series, as far as I'm concerned, is like he gets a guy to do his bidding without even asking, just by being there.
Yeah.
And then he kills
You know
that
you do.
guy after he does something for him. He kills him immediately. And it's
that
stuff
makes
like
sense.
that. The
What a
way
power
that he
move.
like tears people and turns them against each other. Like he kills an entire room of people just by
He's-
being there. His presence like corrupts people.
He's got this
Okay.
weird charisma about him. Like
Yes. So if they were doing something like that where Renfield is like, I don't know, like the head of a cult, and like he's just like he has this power that seems to come out of nowhere, and then you actually Dracula is there and he's the reason.
I've always thought
Um,
the most interesting part about Renfield is that he's just a person who is
Yeah.
completely overturned, like almost immediately. Like
yes.
he's just so obsessed with this idea that he wants to be a vampire that it's like it I don't know. I just
He's
don't
also
see
so
a
pathetic
world-
that he gets subjugated like immediately.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't see a world where you can create an interesting story out of that. Because like
Yeah.
Or you have it that Renfield is a man who has been seeing a shrink, Dr.
Mhm.
Acula.
Mhm.
He's been seeing Dr. Acula
Uh-huh.
for years. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
One other thing that's part of that art posted, there's also supposed to be a Monster MASH movie
what
that's being made.
Okay.
Yeah,
believe
Matt.
this.
It's reporting that Matt Stosky is to direct.
So we
and-
have to sue Arlen.
Mhm.
Yes, we do.
Well, I'm
Um,
hoping it's a literal adaptation
Of the song.
yes,
Of the
of the
I
Monster
would be
Mash
very
song.
into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working
Um,
in the lab waiting. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm clicking through links because of and I want to look at this Renfield movie now. Okay, Dexter Fletcher, who directed Rocket Man, which
Okay.
is one of my top 10 movies of the year last year.
Oh, the movie
So-
that Bohemian Rhapsody should have been.
Yeah, where they hired the director of Rocket Man to save that movie. Yeah, that guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. It's based off of a pitch from Robert Kirkman,
Oh,
which is not a
Oh.
bad sign
I
or
don't know.
necessarily good sign. That can go either way.
it depends
Yeah.
on when Robert Kirkman pitched this to them.
Yes.
Is it cocaine brain R. Kirkman or is it Invincible era?
Yeah.
And this is a weird detail. One of the writers is from Rick and Morty.
No. Okay.
Well, I gotta look this guy up now because I need to know what episode. Because the problem with Rick and Morty is some of those episodes, if you take out a couple punchlines, they aren't funny.
They're pretty
some
cringe,
of,
bro.
well, some of them are just like dark and mean if you take the jokes out. So, yeah. Let's see. What was this guy involved in? He was involved in our Footloose remake, which is
Oh, that's similar to our RoboCop remake. I'm guessing, where different people had different scenes from the movie.
Oh, it's
Yes.
supposed to be musical. The
And
Monster Mash movie.
if people haven't seen the our RoboCop remake,
It's fantastic.
Oh,
look up
there's-
RoboCop shooting 1,000,000 dicks or something like
it's
that.
so great. It's
Wait,
so
is
great.
this the remake?
No,
It's-
so our RoboCop remake is a bunch of people remaking sections of a movie. So in this case, it was RoboCop, and someone remade the scene where RoboCop shoots those guys' dicks off.
Yes.
But he just keeps on doing it to random
Yes.
people.
Well, no, not
Um,
random people. It's just he shoots at first it's like the scene, and then another woman is being held captive by these
Yes.
guys, and then another woman, and then it's just guys showing up with their dicks out running at RoboCop, and it's just shooting
Okay.
penis after penis
This
after
movie
penis.
sounds pretty great.
It's the scene where comes RoboCop is actually done as interpretive dance with scarves.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Incredible.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking at the.
That's amazing.
Okay, this guy wrote the sort of the Wire episode, I think, for Rick and Morty. The episode that's like
which episode?
super.
The
The
Wire.
episode that's like super serious, where at the end, or no, maybe it's not that one. Is it? I can't remember. Which one is this? Rick takes Jerry to a sympathy adventure to resort where everybody is immortal.
Yeah, they go to a place where they have like an immortality field.
Yes.
And it's basically Jerry and Rick have it out with each other finally, and like Jerry's like, you destroyed my family, and Rick's like, I destroyed your family.
Okay, so this guy, based off of the titles that I remember, he's done some good episodes. Morty's Mind Blowers,
Yes.
Ricklantis Mix Up, Look Who's Purging Now, Interdimensional Cable 2, Tempting
These are all
Fate.
great episodes.
Yeah, Autoerotic Assimilation, Rixie Business, Close Encounters of the Rick Kind, Me Seeks and Destroy, and he wrote Lawnmower Dog. Okay.
All right, no worries.
I'm not suspicious of the Renfield movie now. After hearing all of that, it could go either way. That's what I'll
What if it's
say.
a straight up comedy? That could work.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. If
The trailer set to Walking on Sunshine.
Well,
He was
I
just a
could-
nobody.
honestly, I could see them taking it that, like, not that direction exactly, but just like this man whose life is falling
Right.
apart in comedic way because Dracula just trying to position things to make him his servant. So yeah, I could kind of see
it'd
that
be
working.
like a movie about the familiar from What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah,
Get her.
Just about her. That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
yeah, I
That'd be
could
kinda
definitely
cool.
see that working. I could definitely see that
Um,
working.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see. Where were we? Oh, okay. So we're still in extras.
Mhm.
And we've only been going for an hour and a half, so let's keep going. I haven't actually heard the No Time to Die song, but
I haven't either.
Eh,
I had a punchline in my head and I needed to let everybody else see it.
Billie Eilish.
No, No Time to
Wow.
Have you read the actual news thing?
The
that I
listing.
put in?
Yes.
You
It's-
don't get it? Really? You
No.
don't get it, Hunter? There you go.
Duh.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Because
then-
it's Billie Eilish.
And then
yeah.
Cranky Kong shows up and dances.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that part.
You
damn
fucking
it.
simpleton.
You activated the part of my brain that understands.
You monster.
God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't heard it, but I think Patrick, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. One guy who's in Pixels and Reels I know who works with Penguin. He had pointed out that like it doesn't sound like a Bond song because it doesn't have like the sweeping horns or anything like that you expect in a Bond song.
Interesting.
Like the opening Bond song, if that's what this is going to be. Like, I don't know. He said it didn't feel like it's big enough to be a Bond song.
Yeah, and that's a common critique of some Bond songs. I'm gonna listen to it live as we do this, just in the background, just because.
Like I have nothing against her. Like I don't really know much about her music.
She's pretty talented, and like she gets a real bad rap from people who like don't really understand her. It's
a young woman who's actually successful and seems to actually have a good head.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't like her. What is?
I don't know. I really don't know enough about Bond songs. I guess. I mean, I've heard a lot of them, and I know what they sound like, and I don't. But this just feels like going with her is the safe choice.
Well, it's something that they do a lot, where they'll just randomly pick whoever's the biggest star of the moment.
Yeah.
Like Duran Duran.
Remember Adele?
Yeah. Well, not even Adele. Like Sam Smith for that last one was like.
Okay.
Oh, God, I forgot about that. It was him who did that. Jesus.
Yeah, like it was.
Chris
It was
Cornell.
not a. Yeah, Chris Cornell was a weird one. That was.
But it's a good song.
It is.
It is a good song. Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but I still think it's weird that they chose Duran Duran.
Oh,
Duran Duran is. But to be fair, that's the best part.
Aha also has a Bond song. So.
Yeah, their Bond song came like 10 years too late or something like that. Or it was like, what are you doing? Yeah. So Hunter, what you need to know, at least for me, as I guess the Bond super fan on the show, Adele's song is considered like the gold standard at this
I
point.
love
At least
Skyfall. Skyfall's
if you're doing modern Bond songs, and for me it is like that's the gold standard for a modern Bond song because it evokes the sense that those older Bond songs, all those older Bond themes have, but it's updated to modern instrumentation and just a modern style. But it just works as a song. It's just a good song altogether, and it ties in thematically with a lot of what goes on in that movie. So yeah, I still haven't really gotten it. I'm gonna listen to this later. I was gonna listen to it before the show. But what this reminds me of, just having like listened to a couple seconds, it reminds me of the Garbage song from Tomorrow Never Dies.
I don't remember anything about that.
Nobody does. Which is one of the weirder choices that they ever made for Bond songs, but they made a lot of them
You
in
think?
the
Did
90s.
you say Maroon 5?
No.
No.
Okay. I thought I like blacked out for a second there.
You
No.
probably did. Were you sitting on your leg?
Garbage, which is
the blood clots.
Yeah. Anyways, that we don't need to talk about this anymore. Nobody
No.
cares.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
The Uncharted thing? That's been like talked about forever.
No, but
this is one of those
Holland
things.
said something about it, and why not?
It's never going to happen.
It's
They just
not-
need to
never
give
is
up.
going to
it's
happen.
not. This
No.
film's
Just
never
stop.
making it to screen.
I think, okay, this is the most I'll say on an Uncharted movie. I think not doing with Nolan North is a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think that
yes.
it's going to suffer because of it.
Yeah.
If it ever comes out. And it's not going to. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason to do it. Like,
no, there's not.
I understand that you can't just bring a truck up to Naughty Dog and say, make more Uncharted games, because that's not how Naughty Dog does it. But I would prefer they did that. I would prefer Sony was like, hey, Naughty Dog, would you like to grow in size and make more games? Not even Uncharted games, just more games in general.
Yeah,
that would be a smarter investment if you ask me, as not the video game person.
No, and I think they'd enjoy that more, honestly. Like,
yeah.
I just don't make an Uncharted movie. Don't make a Last of Us movie. I don't even want a Last of Us sequel, honestly. And then we're getting that. So it's like,
if you're gonna do a movie based off of a Naughty Dog IP,
Jack and Daxter.
You read my mind.
Yes. Actually, I was going to say Way the Warrior, the 3DO game.
Dude, okay,
wow, I don't even know what that is.
It was
Guys,
like
you're all wrong. Crash Bandicoot is clearly the way to go.
It was a Mortal Kombat-esque.
Yeah, it was a fighting game.
Well, based off of Sonic Connor,
crazy.
you might not be wrong. You might be very.
I might have just put that out in the universe.
I was gonna say, like, well, Hunter, so you shouldn't make movies based on video games.
No, okay.
I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah, I do too.
No, okay, no. You can make movies about video games as long as you respect the material.
Good joke.
No, okay. You can. Okay, watch Sonic and you'll see I'm right, honestly.
Not even Sonic. Okay, let's go back.
I won't.
Yeah.
That Pikachu movie from last year.
Yeah.
That
was
good.
It was good. You know why? Why? You know why it's good? Because they gave a shit.
Yeah. Somebody gave a shit. Somebody behind the scenes was like, we're going to put Mewtwo in the beginning of this movie, and everybody's going to lose their fucking minds.
Yeah,
they see
put
this.
Fucking Charizard in that movie.
Well, on the list of people who give a shit, certainly. So,
Sega Sammy gives a shit. That's all I'm saying.
Cool. How about they come out with a Hudson Adventure Island movie too?
You know what? I'd love that.
I think we need a movie based on Skater Die.
Yes.
If tomorrow was like, we're making a Yakuza movie, I would be so on board. And there was
we're making a Streets of Rage movie?
Again, I'd be on board.
Yeah, me too.
It would just be somebody walking to the right punching people.
With a knife.
Yes,
And they get really
exactly.
sick 'cause they eat chicken they found in a barrel.
Yes, dumpster chicken. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
love dumpster chicken.
yeah. Just also, did the Sonic movie address the canonical fact that Sonic hates cops?
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
Okay. That's a show.
Arlen just yanks the power hypothetically.
Okay, I'll put it this way. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
I do have to address one thing that I'm sure everybody's been waiting, which is that I'm sorry, but a certain thing will not be happening. The Samsung S11 AT&T Joker will not be happening.
Yeah.
Because
Never say never.
Samsung decided to skip 10 whole product numbers and released a new phone called the Samsung S20. So prepare for the S20 Joker phone from AT&T.
It'll still be Jared Leto's face too.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
Still
thought
be him.
for sure you're gonna say the Samsung Joker phone.
Yeah.
And it's just like a phone that looks like Joker's face.
Well,
it's shaped like Jared Leto's face. Just
It's actually a flip phone, and when you flip it open, it's the inside of his mouth, so you can see. his
right, but it
core.
makes that laughing sound that he does.
Yes. The whole time the phone is open, so even when you're talking to someone, they're just like, "What is that noise in the background?"
And then he
Yeah.
asks him in the cup.
And if you buy the new Z Flip, you can get the Joaquin Phoenix red Joker design. So yeah,
the Samsung phone, doesn't it also come with a used condom?
yes,
I was
it does.
trying to incorporate that into the bit and I couldn't find a window. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, it's actually what the charging port is. Anyways, let's I guess let's wrap up.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
yeah.
No,
Sounds
let's
like
just
fun.
keep doing this. Let's just do it over again. Let's start from the very beginning.
No.
I've been Connor McGraw. Hey, Movie Dumpster's back, and we've had 2 episodes out: Pumpkinhead 2 and Valentine. Pumpkinhead 2 is probably one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. And the companion video that Joe made with wrestling commentary over footage of Pumpkinhead giving a redneck a backbreaker is one of the hardest times I've ever laughed in my life.
It was so good.
It is so fucking funny. And Valentine's out. We're doing a bunch of theme stuff this year. Actually, I'm supposed to ask the remainder of Phantom Zone when they would like to be on this year. So there's that. Surprise!
No.
I'm available whenever, I guess.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a whole lot to plug yet because like we're just getting started. So, but we have the entire season, the whole year mapped out. So it should be interesting.
Cool. Let me know because I might actually be interested.
Yeah.
I could have a lot.
Actually, we're watching some kind of like Dungeons and Dragons-esque movie that I brought your name up for.
What movie is it? Oh God!
Dungeon
Tell
Master?
me. Dungeon Master. That I don't know.
Oh, I'm thinking of Dungeon Siege and like in the name of the king.
Oh dear God, no!
You guys should watch that Tom Hanks movie where he.
That's the one I was thinking he was talking about. Yeah, the one where he ends up on top of the. No, that's
Tom Cruise.
Very good. Very
No,
good.
the movie where Tom Hanks is like
I think
obsessed
Sonic
with
broke
D&D.
Mhm. Yeah.
Does he kill someone?
No, he
Yes.
becomes convinced that he's his character and his character is possessed or something.
Yes.
And he ends up like on top of like the Empire State Building or something
That
like that,
sounds
ready to jump off at the end of it.
That
Yeah.
sounds really dumb. I love it.
Yeah,
It's baby Tom Hanks. So
Yeah,
This was
it
during
was-
the era of that being like
Yep.
Yeah.
Believable story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Lost Hour Podcast. We've come back real hard because we released 3 episodes in the last 2 weeks. We did a sort of Oscars reaction thing and our personal reviews of Birds of Prey, which came out early. So go listen to that. Go listen to our top 10s of the year and of the decade. And look forward to a guest appearance from Hunter Davenport that should be coming out very soon.
I'm still the reigning champ of guest appearances.
Yeah.
I'm defending my belt. Yeah, coming soon. Yeah, I let's just say I saw Sonic for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it wasn't because you make good decisions.
Yes. Well, I do make good decisions.
It's because Eric Sayer held a gun to both of our heads.
Yeah, Eric Sayer is
Um,
responsible for all of this.
Yes. Yeah. So that's my plugs. Hunter?
Okay, so don't follow me on any social media, but if you want to
Mhm.
follow something, I would like for you to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to that.
Yeah.
Because we really need those subscriptions.
Mhm.
I haven't eaten in 3 years.
Yeah.
And I'm only paid in YouTube. So please do.
Yeah. And currently, for the next 48 hours or so, it's the only way to listen to every single episode of our show. So
Go back and listen to all the CW episode shows. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh no,
Yeah.
don't do that.
No, please do. Go back to our very first episode where we tried
Yeah.
reviewing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and see how
Yeah.
long that works. See
Yeah.
how long that lasted.
All
Good
right.
time.
I'm Erik Fedorchak. You can follow me on Instagram at Erik_Fedor. There's pictures of dogs and cats and food. I also my Twitter or it's young_Kame. That's YUNG_KAME. If you want to follow me there and just talk to me endlessly, just please, every bot,
Just
every
batter me
porn
with
bot out
questions.
there, yes, please, just
Yeah.
send me pictures of Moon Knight looking like an asshole.
Yeah. Actually, if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't have a hard time.
No, exactly. I'm also on the floating around. And two fun things to tell you about. One, I managed to fracture my fifth metatarsal
Yes, you
slipping
did.
on my rug. Thankfully, it was a pseudo-Jones fracture, which means it was actually the tendon pulling in the opposite direction my foot was going, and it broke off part of the bone. So that's pleasant. The other thing is, as Sonic was reaching the amount of his
Oh,
speed,
no.
he broke through into
Bye.
a barrier where Penny was. God damn it.